Hi, it's just Richard here from Eminor. Now we've got a Vox gaming PC here. This little baby's in construction at the moment, so we thought we'd take a minute to show you what it does, show you what's in it, and why we choose it. So what we have is a Cooler Master Silencio 550 case. Now we picked this one because it's nice and cool and quiet. Now we combine it with a bit of water cooling. As you'll see down here, you've got a Side M120V single fan water cooling kit from Cooler Master. We use that in conjunction with the 550 for a nice cool and quiet case. Now the base features you'll see, nice shiny reflective front panel. We chose this one instead of the matte one because it just looks pretty, to be honest. Now you open up the front panel. Now it's kind of a little bit tricky to see on camera, so we'll rotate the case a bit. See that grey thing there? That's actually heavily foam padded, which means you get nice quiet PC. Now we've just got a standard DVD burner, and what we have here, we're actually using the hot swap drive bay. We've got just a WD black 500 gig drive in there. Now the hot swap drive bay, really cool feature that comes with pretty much most of the Cooler Master cases, which means if you have a hard drive you want to swap between your PCs just to transfer files, because obviously for transferring gigabytes of files it can be quicker just to plug the hard drive in. This is really handy. Now just check with your motherboard. We use the MSI Z97 Gaming 7, which does have hot swappable SATA ports. You've just got to turn the hot swap feature on in the BIOS. Just remember to do that, otherwise the drive won't be hot swappable. Now the other feature in the case, it's got a filter for the fans. You pop that out, give it a wash, click it back in, and keep the fan nice and clean by keeping the filter clean. Now spin the case around. It's a nice brush finish, nice solid sturdy case. It's really quite heavy. It's not a really cheap thin tinny one. Now on the back you got your standard fan port on the back. Now we've got a water cooling kit attached to this, so it's a little bit different. You've got your sleeve rubber holes for water cooling pipes if you have some outrageous, ridiculous, overclocker type water cooling kits. Now the other feature we'll do is we'll ignore the ports on the back of the board. We'll go through that when we have a look at the inside of the case. We'll switch back to that because obviously that's a bit more relevant. But there we go. So we pop the side panel off. Now you'll see again all foam padded for nice quiet operation. Now the other panel on the back of the board, that is also padded, so you get a nice quiet PC when you're running. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll swing our PC around. Now I might just turn the camera off because we'll reset for a better angle. And yeah, we'll have a quick flick through what's on the inside. So we'll be back shortly. Okay, now that we've got a bit of a better angle here, now we'll finish off just walking through the case. Now you'll notice I've got the middle bay here taken out of the case. Normally you've got another drive bay here for 3.5-inch drives. I've taken that out because it sits a little bit close to the graphics card. You can leave it in there and it will still fit a standard size graphics card, but I just like that extra bit of space, so I normally take it out. And plus it gives you a bit more airflow because you've got a 120mm fan on the case here at the front, and it just clears up some of that, some of the obstructions that are sitting in front of it. Now you've also got another 3 bays I should say, down the bottom here. So what we would generally do is we'll have one SSD drive for our operating system, and then maybe a couple of 3.5-inch SATA drives for storage. Generally 1 2TB drive, but maybe 2. So we usually find that that's fine. It's easy enough to have enough storage space in your PC without having this middle bay in place. Now, standard stuff here, you've just got your optical drive bays, nothing's unusual there. But you'll see there's the back plane. It's very hard to see on the camera because it's a lot of cabling in front of it. But there's a back plane there for the hot swap drive bay, so you connect the SATA port and the 4-pin Molex power connector for that. So we've got that all set up and in use as well. Now the last thing I'll mention on the case before we move on to the components themselves is just, you'll see the power supply here. I can't show it to you now because obviously the power supply is installed, but underneath the power supply there's 4 raised little nodules in the bottom of the case that the power supply sits on. They've rubber padded those to knock out any additional noise from vibration coming from the power supply, which is another really cool feature of the case. Aside from that, you've got the standard stuff where you've got nice holes on the power supply end, the top end of your motherboard, and the very side of your motherboard. You've got nice cable management holes that run underneath the motherboard tray, so you can easily route your cables. Other than that, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll run through the bits and pieces inside the PC. Okay, and we're back. All right, so we'll go through the insides of the case. Now, power supply choice is the Coolmaster GX2 750 watt. Now we're not running SLI, so we don't need anything more powerful than that, and obviously our power bills don't like it anyway. If you're running SLI, maybe something a little bit beefier, but always consult, with overclocking forums, great place to do it. Also gaming forums, but a power supply choice if you're running SLI, but this one is good enough for us. Now, the Coolmaster GX2 power supply, it's also got a silent HDB fan, so it's nice and quiet, which fits in with the theme of our gaming PC. Now the graphics card is the MSI GTX 770. This is the 2GB edition, but you can also get a 4GB edition, an overclocked edition, but we use the 2GB one because this is a gaming PC. For Counter-Strike, doesn't have excessively high requirements for graphics. Now this one's got the Twin Frozer 2 cooling system, which is one of the better cooling systems for graphics card you can get. Now, we have a side M120V water cooler. Now the girls at Cooler Master, Selena and Angel, love you girls, but I have wrapped the power leads for the cooler itself and the radiator fan around the water pipes. It just keeps it neater. I know I'm probably not meant to do it, but I'm doing it anyway. So there you go. So there we go. So there's our 120V side water cooler. Now, we use G-Skill RAM in our PCs. We use these in CGPL machines, really good quality RAM. These are 8GB DDR3 1600 MHz modules, which is pretty much on par. Obviously this is running Windows 7 64-bit, so plenty of RAM for the PC. Now we've also got just an everyday optical drive, nothing special there. Now, this is a production machine, so it's just got a Kingston SSD at the moment, but that'll come out, and Intel 80GB SSD, which is our standard one. That'll go in there once she's ready to roll. Now okay, we're back. Sorry, I did a little cut there because it's kind of hard to churn through all the components and then just roll straight to the motherboard because there's so many features on there to go through. Let's try that again. Okay, so motherboard is an MSI Z97 Gaming 7 motherboard. Now we've got 4 DDR3 RAM module slots. Now we've got up to 10 USB 3 and 6 USB 2 sockets. Now that's somewhat dependent on how many front panel USB connectors you have for your case, but there's an allowance for 10 USB 3 and 6 USB 2. Now you've got 4 PCIe X1 slots. They're good for things like sound cards if you're on an external sound card or a video capture card. Now you've got 3 PCIe 3 X16 slots for your graphics card, so you can have 3-way SLI. Obviously if you're going to do that, have a look at your power supply and make sure it's it's big enough to suit. Now you've also got, if you're not using a graphics card, you've got your 2 HDMI ports and a display port as well. That's obviously, that runs off your processor's internal graphics. Now you've also got plenty of SATA ports. You've got 8 SATA 6GB per second ports. Now they're supporting RAID 0, 1, 5 and 10. Now some of the other features you've got on the board is the USB ports have a stable 5V feed going through them. A lot of motherboards, because it's shared power, they don't have really solid power flow, so you get a little bit of fluctuation. MSI has made sure you've got a dedicated 5V feed for USB ports for stable USB power. Now you've also got the killer E2205 network interface. Now I'm going to do a bit of a video about that down the track, because that's it's not your everyday network card. It basically load balances, so it prioritizes your game traffic, so you get lag-free gaming. But we'll go through that in more detail in a future video. But it's got the killer network interface in there. Now, the audio system, it's got a really good audio system where they've used high-quality capacitors and amplifiers, and they've also isolated the line running from the the audio processor across to the CPU to minimize interference from other devices inside the PC. Now it also comes with the Sound Blaster Cinema 2 software, so you get really high quality, crisp, studio quality sound coming out of your MSI Gaming 7 motherboard. So that's the motherboard, and that is the PC. Now it's also, look, there's a lot of other features as well. There's some things like your OC Genie. We're going to do a video about that in the future. It's one-touch overclocking, so you hit your OC Genie button. It'll boost the clock speeds a little bit to give you a bit more performance. But it's also got some things like a reset button and a power button on the board, so you can do a little bit of desktop benchmarking. And yeah, so what we'll do now is we'll quickly, this is the last part, we will show you the back of the case. We'll slide that forward and tilt her up, where now we've got a PS2 port for you old school gamers who have your old 100-year-old keyboard to the PS2. You've got an old school PS2 port designed for gaming. You've got a couple of USB 2s. You've got another 4 USB 3s and then another 4 USB 3s over here. Now here's your HDMI connector for your onboard video. There's your display port and there's another HDMI connector. Now you've also got your optical audio out, so if you've got a really nice headset like the Astro A50s that do have an optical audio input, you can run your optical audio from there. Now there's your killer network interface, and there you've got your standard, very standard but gold plated audio connectors for your microphone, your line in and your headset. So there you go. So there's Vox Gaming PC. The only thing we haven't really touched on is the processor. This one is not the same as the Vox gaming systems on M-Wave. This is just a gaming build, so this one's got a i5-4460 processor. The M-Wave ones, the Vox Gaming PCs, they've got i7 processors. So aside from that, there we go. Here's our Vox Gaming PC. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, if you want to learn a little bit more, have a look at the article on voxeminor.com, which will have a few benchmarks and game performance indicators. Thanks for watching.